Welcome, everybody. Al Berg here, and this is the Doggy Style Podcast, episode number 39, second one for today. And it was an interesting day at work. Nothing bad happened. Didn't speak to the boss. Um, the thing that was interesting is that a coworker was talking to me, and had said very low, but he used the N word while talking to me. And I don't know how to handle that. And the crazy thing is, we just hired a African American intern. She could have heard him, so it was put me in a really weird position. It was just didn't like that he did that. Um, it's one thing on business property. It's another thing if he did it outside. So it's a weird thing. So one of the things I started today was I was still looking into some data issues. It just seems like a lot of my time is spent looking at data issues. And I had to go to a coworker and ask him if he could figure out what the issue is, why I'm having this data issue. It just turns out that we have two databases and we're trying to get away from the old one, but the old one had data that the new one doesn't have. So it was a little weird. Now, the coworker, it's nice that he's looking into that. If it was me, I would have said I don't have time or whatever. So another thing that happened is he also, same coworker, reviews my work. So I uh, these are some cute dogs. I should probably talk to the guy since it is the Doggy Style Podcast. But so I sent him a review uh, a couple days ago. Oh, and I just remembered I have to notify some coworkers that his review's done. So this is kind of a hard thing to do. So what I'm going to do is uh, sorry, put an alarm on my system, basically reminding me to contact a coworker. So I'll just pause this for a second. Okay, so I just set up an alarm. I went to successalarm.com, added an alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m. and I added a Success Alarm has a alarm that can give two early warnings. So it'll give you a 15-minute and a 30-minute alarm prior, or text prior to the actual alarm. And so I set it for 9, so I should get a text at 8:30, 8:45, and 9 to remind me to send a confirmation for somebody who is waiting to hear from me. So I just set up a reminder, and so that's one nice thing about Success Alarm, is that I'm able to give myself reminders without having to get onto my work machine, and I'll still be able to do stuff. This happens a lot where, and that is one benefit of it. I have to say that's a nice benefit of Success Alarm. You're away from work, or you have some knowledge that you have to remember to do, and so I can put it in. So there was one funny thing, I don't know, funny, that happened, is that a coworker contacted me telling me I spelled a word wrong. The word was collateralized, and I spelled it with an I instead of an A. So I fixed that. Again, I don't like that the coworker is sending me these texts. I would rather my boss. Matter of fact, the coworker is somebody who uh, used to work for me. He used to kind of report to me when my old boss was around, but now that there's a new boss around, kind of doesn't anymore. And this is the same coworker that the other day I he asked to schedule a meeting, and I said, look it up on Google. That was a good feeling. I'm still a little nervous about it because I'm not sure if there'll be any negative repercussions from it. So it's nice to help people, and again, I would love to help the guy, but it doesn't help me in any way. I guess it could help me a little bit. So just as a business, if you do rate people against each other, be prepared for stuff like this to happen. Um, Better to make sure that your rating is partly due to how much people help each other. Okay, so today's Wednesday. I always try to get Time Out New York. It's pretty thin today. I'm not sure why. It's kind of a and I forgot all about it today. But then as I was coming home, I saw somebody had a whole stack out. So I'm walking down. Uh, don't even know where I'm walking. I'm walking down 6th Avenue right now. Very crowded. I've been doing well with the lights so far. And today, one thing that I finally did something I enjoyed. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time doing shit I don't like to do. But today, I wrote some code that is going to automate everything I do. So, and the way it's going to automate it, this I didn't do because I didn't have a lock for my laptop. So I got a lock yesterday from my laptop from a woman who would call me by my wrong name, which is just kind of funny. She didn't call me Al, she called me something else, and she'd been calling me that for a while. And then finally I corrected her, and she was very embarrassed. Um, yeah, really crowded. So we're on 32nd Street. And again, I'm doing pretty good with the lights. So I'm walking from my office to 14th Street over to the down 6th Avenue right now, over to the High Line and then up and then to Penn Station. So I'm passing a store called Gregory's Coffee. And if you ever see one, it's kind of a green, white. The word Gregory's is in white. And they have a really cool logo. It looks like a guy's head with glasses, but the two glasses are actually cups of coffee. I just thought that was kind of cool. I'm passing a Gregory's Coffee right now. Take a picture of it. And I like there's something about the logo I really like. There's the basically see if you could figure out what it is before. So pause this right now, and there'll be a picture there hopefully. And so okay, time's up. It's the glasses. So it's a guy's face with glasses, but the glasses are two cups of coffee. So something about it I like. Um, we So I spent a lot of time working on this, what seems like a data issue. And one thing I didn't do is I didn't update my time. For some reason, at the end of the day, I just haven't been in the habit of updating my time. I could use an alarm at the end of the day that basically says update your time, not part of my stand-up alarm. And so my success alarm has something called a stand-up alarm. And this kind of got me started on this whole idea of alarms. And what it does, it sends me a text at 50 minutes after the hour around, and it's just a reminder to stand up. Because supposedly it's a lot of health problems if you don't stand enough, or if, actually if you sit too much. Um, so one thing I've noticed, if you're walking against traffic and you want to make lights, you actually have to run kind of every other block. And if you run and count to 50, and you don't have to run fast, just slow steps. If you count to 50 and then walk from there, you'll make the light. So I did have fun for once at work. And I just started saying before I was automating the whole process, and my goal is to automate all the tasks even that my coworker does, so he doesn't even have to do it anymore. So some of the things he does, the system's going to do automatically. And then this way, things won't be coming from him, which I don't like. A while ago, he was working for me, so I was giving him kind of non-technical things to do. I was trying to train him as a backup, and he was never able to learn VBA. I guess he's just not a programmer. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be for him. If he had programming skills, it would have been pretty trivial. I mean, I even recorded videos for him, and he just never learned it. So I'm not sure if it was because he was lazy or maybe too complicated for him, or just didn't know how to ask the right questions. So if you are being trained, it's your duty to tell the trainer what you're not understanding. And he did that sometimes. I guess he just didn't have the proper skills. And even when I interviewed the guy, he didn't know in Excel what the if statement was, the if formula. I mean, hopefully he knows what it is now. Just one other thing at work, I might have mentioned they hired a new junior guy, which I guess if I automate everything, then me. That's one of the negative things about my job is I can actually automate myself out of a job. So the more important thing is, if I do automate stuff, make sure only I can run them. Which is important. And that's for you too. If you are automating things for yourself, don't be stupid like I've been, and make sure you create it so that only you can run it. And then everybody else has to do it the hard way. So it was fun automating this process. So the whole process, the way it works, is I have a button that takes the Excel spreadsheet and creates a new copy of it with the name Auto Run appended to it. And then within the workbook, when the workbook's opened, it checks the name of the file, and if it has the word Auto Run, it's going to do specific code. I also set up a database table. As I run through the street, I set up a database table, just the start to run it, and it kind of ran most of the way. There was some weird thing that happened where the part of the process gets rid of range names, and there was two range names in the sheet that I couldn't delete. They had weird names, so I'll have to take a look at that. So, but it ran for the most part. It did hang up, and I was using Outlook, so I might have screwed it up with the clipboard. The code I write is not good if you're using your machine. It could be better. I probably should figure out, or not use any kind of clipboard statements, which would be copying. Because if you use it, it could screw you up if you use the clipboard in another place. Yeah, so that way it was fun. So I ran one report, and the report is not, the report is hard to automate because there's a manual process right now. I sent an email out, and I will need to follow up on that. I sent an email out for the group if they had documentation on how to automate it. And so this process, what I should do, and hopefully I will, but it's not that easy. I have to come up with a better way. So this process, if I automate the if I automate the creation, um, if I automate the creation of the uh, if I automate the creation of this new thing, this lookup that's not automated, I got to make sure only I could run it. So I have to think about how to do that. So one way would make it part of a different piece of software, but the way I like to do it is to have my own version of my software, and then when I release it, because he's going to use it, I just delete the sheet that the code is on. And that way, the code could still be there, but he won't be able to use it very easily. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. The only thing is the release process will be visible, but you know something, fuck him. So that's the process. I write code for myself from now on, and oh Jesus. So I write code for myself, and when I release it to my coworker, I delete the stuff that makes it easier to use. So when he does it, it's going to have bugs. It's going to be hard to use. Be cool if I could even put bugs in the code, so it doesn't work well when he does it. Oh, this is a really cute pit bull, really low to the ground. There's a lot of women with pit bulls. Okay, so where are we? Let's see. So the fact that I'm talking, I'm not really paying much attention to where I am. I'm on like 21st Street right now. That could be dangerous. Walking and not paying attention. I'm almost even looking down. I'm not even paying attention. It would be like talking on the phone. Okay, so I'm gonna pause and tie my shoe, which I always seem to get untied. And I just sat on a chair provided by Pret a Manger. Not a sponsor, but I'll shout out. I've eaten there. I do like them. So if you haven't eaten at Pret a Manger, I think that's how you pronounce it, you give it a try. The food's pretty good. I do like it. It's clean. Um, okay, so I wrote some notes before I left, and this is going to be hard to do, though I have 45 minutes, so no, not really, 40 minutes to do this. So the first question I wrote down is, what's my top project priority? That's a really hard question. And as I've been saying before, I'm not good at setting priorities. But what is a priority anyway? So I've realized that prioritizing things is just like sorting. So if you sorted data in Excel by last name, you could sort it by A through Z. Or you can sort numbers. Sometimes we sort numbers a lot uh, from the largest to the smallest, and that allows you to see what was the maximum value of a column. And prioritizing kind of would be similar. You just need to come up with some formula that represents a value of the item, and then just sort it. So you could, you need to have what the item is and then all the variables that would help you decide. And likely you won't get it right, so you might see something that doesn't really meet your priority, so you could change your algorithm a little bit, but that's the basic of prioritizing. So what is my top priority? I guess it's the number one thing is, I guess, stay alive, right? There's nothing higher than that. Um, Money, but that's right now. But if I was miserable or old, very old, stay or like hooked up to machines, in pain, then stay alive would not be a priority or a high priority. Um, Now, I have a list of things. I'll go through them, and I'm going to try to figure out why something's a priority. So I've wrote down that I want to use the 5 why technique. And that 5 why technique is you basically make a statement or somebody says something, you say something, and then you ask why. And then after you give yourself an answer, you do it again, and you do it 5 times. So, and that's, I don't know who created that, but the 5 why technique. I'm getting close to where I turn. I'm on 16th Street right now, and it got a lot less crowded. I used to walk down here a lot. I probably should walk down well, I can't really walk down to the World Trade Center. I was saying that I should walk down to the World Trade Center, um, but that doesn't give me enough time to make my train. One day when I'm not timing it. So I actually walked this morning, uh, so I should get a fair number of steps in today. And I'm really upset about my weight, which is 4 pounds overweight. So hopefully this extra walk, eating lighter will make a difference. I'm really going to focus on eating a little lighter. Um, I guess I'm going to turn on 15th Street. So I was going to go down to 14th Street, but if I get stuck at lights, um, if I get stuck at lights, then I'll be just wasting time. Okay, so back to the priorities. And my next question was, what are my choices? Right, so, and choices are related to wants and goals. So I've written down a few things, but my number one choice right now seems to be weight loss. Yesterday it was cleanup, but today I just feel 4 pounds uh, behind my goal. I do want to reach my goal. I want to get back to it. I want to lighten up. I don't like the way I look in the mirror. I got a pretty big pot belly, at least from my point of view. Um, so I've made that number one. So which means tonight, so I've walked twice, and for lunch I had bulletproof coffee. Breakfast I had 2 bars. Doggy! There's some cute French bulldog. Um, I had coffee. I had bulletproof coffee. I had 2 bars for breakfast. And that's been it so far today. And I really want to lighten up what I eat. So absolutely 0 carbs tonight. Um, not sure what I'm going to have. Maybe I think I'm going to have fish or maybe a burger. But it's going to be a burger without cheese. Maybe 2 burgers. And that'll be my dinner. And then no snacks and no seeds, which I've been eating. So yeah, so it feels like the weight loss has got to be number one. I don't want that to get away from me. Uh, so cleanup has gone down to number two. I still want to clean up my mess. Seems like an easy thing to do, but I've been having trouble with it. It's kind of boring. And if I clean up, really, what do I get? I'm not sure. I might get a temporarily good feeling of, wow, it's clean, but that'll be about it. Uh, nothing much more. So maybe that's why I don't want to do it. Then the third thing is to learn how to prioritize. So what could be more important than that? That's got to be one of the top key principles, being able to prioritize properly. So I'm going to work on that. I spent a lot of time on time tracking and where I spend my time, and it never worked out well. So I could use some more time, some more focus on time tracking, not on time tracking, on prioritizing. But again, part of the idea of tracking my time is to figure out where it went. Am I using my time well? Ooh, I almost crossed the street and there was a green light. The next thing, and again, I'm not sure, this is one of my important things, is my Excel franchise idea. So the idea is to sell a franchise of Excel training, and as I can't say the word, prerequisite to doing that, I need to create training and train people and learn from it. I'm on 14th and 7th Avenue right now. My knees are hurting a little bit, but it's okay. Yeah, so um, I'm not sure why it's been so hard. I probably need to use some of the techniques I was talking about this morning of that podcast where I was talking about how to make money. And I need to, that's actually another thing I need to add to my list, a methodology for making money, which would be, that would be worthwhile. That's pretty important. Now, money's not everything, obviously. I do have enough money right now, um, but not enough to not work. So that's got to be a goal of mine. I never really thought about that. Um, it could be enough money to retire, but fortunately and unfortunately, I have kids in college. I have two kids in college, so quite expensive, and one wants to go to med school, so which I wish him the best of luck. I hope it works out for him. But right now, I'm thinking of cutting back, uh, not working so hard, and just enjoying life more. Some things I do enjoy and did enjoy work today. I guess my boss didn't hit on me with anything. It was a little annoying, the sequel. I don't like sequel. I probably should get a job that doesn't do sequel. Much more fun just doing XLVBA. Except unfortunately there's more money in sequel. So yeah, so Excel franchise. So I do have to come up with one course. I mean, that's going to be the focus, is come up with one class and see if I could get somebody to pay for it. Right? What more do I have to do? I could continue to organize my ideas about which classes to do. Okay, so I'm going to run in a few seconds. I'm starting to jog slowly because the light is going to change. 15 seconds, and I'll probably step in the street at about 5 seconds, I'm going to guess. Of course, there's a bus and a truck. 3, okay, and I made it. Whew. A lot of people hanging out here on the corner of 14th and 7th. I'm not sure why. Watch it. It's just a group of people just hanging out. The same homeless guy I saw in the morning is playing with a dollar bill. Yeah, so I just need to pick one. And again, probably my key problem is that I try to do too much. But I thought about it, and that would be a great thing, is if I was able to do all of these things, all these ideas I have. So that could be a goal, is to be able to manage and create multiple things very quickly. And I guess one of the things I'd probably have to do is outsource a lot, get some income from them. One nice thing is if I can get some income from any of my ideas, I can use that to hire people. I don't necessarily want to spend my own money, of course, because the kids in college, and which actually spending your own money is a really good, idea. So the question is, I have money, I can invest it in, say, Google, or I can invest it in myself, my own ideas. Now, Google, by most standards, is overvalued, and it's going to come down in price once the market crashes. And today is June 6th, 2018. When is it going to crash? Who knows? I certainly don't know. But I've been in cash for a very long time, so it shows you my wisdom. So the real indicator of when to get in is when I buy. So when I buy, that's probably a good buy indicator. I mean a good sell indicator, excuse me, since I'm usually wrong. The next thing I have here, so I'll go through the technique later, afterwards. Next one I have is my Key Principle for Success printed book. Now, I don't know, this hasn't been that much fun. I try to write about stuff. I've written down a lot of things, uh, but it's just very, very hard. I'm running again. Um, it's very hard. Uh, I don't have anybody proofreading it right now or feedback, and I'm not a great writer. Uh, it never was. It's a skill I would like to improve on, so I had wrote down some skills to learn. So writing, become a better writer is definitely a skill I'd like to acquire. I just check to make sure I'm recording, which I am. Next one, and again, this is not necessarily the right order. Health. I have not spent enough time on this, so I really do need to up the priority of that, spend some time on that. Um, I feel like I am, but I guess the diet and the weight losses could be considered that. But there's some other medical issues I have that I really should be, and there's that one should, doing some more, spending some more time on. And one of them I've mentioned before was osteoporosis, which I have. Funny enough, I asked the doctor, an orthopedist, years ago. I said, "Doctor, is it possible I have osteoporosis?" And he said, "No, men don't get it." Stupid asshole. Now I've gone to a doctor, and I recently was waiting a long time, and I wound up leaving, and so I'm probably going to go back to her, just because she does prescribe metformin for me. I haven't been taking it, but I have to do some research on that too. It just seems like has some positive effects on possibly a life extension, and it has something to do with something called AMPK, and I'm probably getting the wrong order of the initials. AKMP, who knows what it is, but somehow it helps with that, and somehow that's related to living longer. Next one is this podcast. So I've been doing this podcast, uh, started as a Periscope, but the problem I've had with Periscope is it uses too much battery. I can't look up my notes. Um, it uses too much space. So I stopped Periscoping and started this podcast, but it's a lot of work. That could be something to automate, is find ways to make it much easier and quicker to put together these podcasts and get them uploaded. I mean, one way is I could outsource it. I could load it somewhere and have somebody do it. But the problem with that is that I'm currently not getting any money from it. I don't know why somebody would listen to it. It's really more valuable. This is one of those things that it's valuable to me, maybe not to other people. So something's going on here, that they've closed part of the High Line. I'm not sure what. Okay, so what else we got here? And then fun. I played ice hockey last Wednesday, actually, which is ice hockey tonight, and I had a lot of fun. I kind of got to figure out if it's safe for me to play. I mean, it probably isn't. Again, mostly because of my osteoporosis, and I'm also a little afraid of getting hurt. But it's so easy to get a good workout playing ice hockey. Really fun sport. If you haven't played it, it's hard to get into, but I really enjoyed it. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, so they're having a Latin dance party from 6 to 9 p.m. on the High Line. Oh, sorry. I'm going to guess Thursday nights they might have it. It's a kind of a cool thing to do. If you like dancing and you like Latin, and I don't know if they have alcohol. Um, yeah, so I want to find ways to have more fun. I'm not sure if I've had I mean, walking and doing this podcast is kind of fun. Losing weight, if I can do it, is fun. Uh, just accomplishing goals is fun too. So I'm gonna find more ways to have fun. Always liked riding bicycles, so I should, again, I should find more ways to get on a bicycle. My bicycle is kind of crappy. It's really old. I mean, I bought my bicycle when I was like 18 years old for $375 used. It has a bent frame. It's dented. It probably could be considered an antique now. I wonder if I could get money for it. I mean, literally, the components are ancient. Maybe somebody would be willing to buy it because I would like a new bike. I would sell it for probably $400, maybe more. Who knows? Yeah, so I got to figure out more things to have fun. I do like walking. I probably should do more. Again, that probably. It's funny how I'm key to it. I probably should do more meetups in the city. Um, the next one I have is planning. I haven't planned enough. I'm wondering if some of my failures have been to a lack of planning, of having a plan, having system requirements, and then building the system that I spec out, having a plan on how to reach a goal. And really, what is a plan but just a series of steps prioritized? And the final one is getting a new job. So I'm not sure why, but I've been very hesitant to spend time on this. Uh, and really, the first thing I can do is just update my resume. Um, and I think what I'm going to have to do to get this done, and I think I've added an alarm, is to spend like an hour a day or maybe a couple hours on the weekend. Jesus Christ. On the weekends. So, and if I did that, I guess get it done, and then I would like to go on some job interviews. Unfortunately, the time is bad. It's June now, so nothing like going on an interview all sweaty, which is what happens. Um, I guess I could ask my boss, am I going to be getting a raise? I mean, I could, and again, it's a tough conversation to have. Will I be getting a raise this year? What do I have to do to get one? Um, and I think one of the issues is that he works in another state, and I might make more money than him. Um, Another bad issue is that he's got the same title as I do, so to get a new title will be difficult. Um, yeah, so that's really all I had today on my list. So let me go through some of them in more details. I guess new jobs are hard because I have it pretty easy. Um, so the question becomes, is title and money so important? Um, I'm going to say that my subconscious doesn't think so. My subconscious has not allowed me to do it. I know that sometimes when you get a new job or you go through a recruiter, they kind of can force you to take a job or be really pissed off at you or even get you fired by telling your boss. I just think if I got somebody interviews and then they hit the last minute, didn't do it, I could be pissed off. They didn't have a good reason. So there's a number of things. And then I'm old, so I'm worried about that, that my age um, can have an effect. But I guess I could look at it the other way, and that my age could be a positive thing, that I'm older than everybody, and maybe I'll get more respect. Okay, so we're going to do the 5 why technique. I wrote it for one of these things. Oh, my Excel franchise. Why do I want to do that? I mean, it's really about making money, creating something. It is hard because it's not easy to teach somebody. It would be easy if I had a student and then tried to teach them, um, and then they gave me feedback what they don't understand. That would be much easier. So if you're a student and want to learn Excel, contact me on Twitter, Alec Berg, or leave a note in this on this video, and we'll see what we could do. Maybe and it is that maybe I'll teach you live. Another thing is to try and get a job, so that way I have a guaranteed income, and th that's probably a good first step. I mean, can I teach Excel? I don't know if I can. I might know it too well, but I wouldn't be teaching Excel. I'd be teaching VBA, which is Excel is great, but if you don't know VBA, you're missing out so many things. And this is something I have on my to-do list, is to document all the cool things it can do. And I call that what can Excel do? And maybe that's where my focus could be, is to really get some good videos on what it can do. Um, I mean, the software I have at work that I've created is really cool. I mean, it does do a lot of stuff between running queries, uh, using, doing things you can't even do in SQL, which is include statements, passing parameters or substituting parameters, which I guess you can do, um, uh, including sheets like a confidentiality sheet, naming it, storing it on the network, sending emails. It does all sorts of stuff. And it could use a little work, but that's another possibility, is that I take that and turn it into a business where I automate the whole creation of PowerPoint slides for companies. I mean, that's what I'm doing now. And I could say, what do you pay somebody to do this? How much is their salary? And I could then take over the whole process for, say, half the price. So if they pay somebody, say, 50,000, I'll do it for 25,000. All with this automation that I'm doing. So again, why Excel class? Um, I mean, it's mostly about money. It's mostly about, I have a skill that other people don't have, and I should make some money off of it. Why do I want to make money? Um, I guess I'd like to make money so I could have more freedom. I don't like that much where I work. I don't like that the boss tells me what to do. I don't like waiting for these queries to finish. Doing something that really doesn't do anything for society. Um, um, they were hitting a little bit of a bottleneck here as people are listening to headphones and walking very slowly. So not a, it's turning it into maybe not a good place to walk. But if you're interested in the Highline, and it's probably a cool thing to do. Um, yeah, it's getting really crowded up here. Yeah, so question is why? Why do I want to make money? And again, I guess I'm just saying it's for freedom. Why do I want freedom? I, so I have it's 5:50. I have 11 minutes. I don't know. Sounds like it might be tough. We'll see. I might have to hustle a little bit as I very crowded. Okay, so these are very hard questions. I mean, everybody wants to make money. I mean, that's how you have, and there's other benefits of making a lot of money. Uh, you get power, you do what you want. In theory, have more fun. Uh, so, is it about having fun? Do I want money for fun? Or do I just have enough money? So that would be interesting to see if I have enough money. And then I could decide, do I really want to do these things? And the question could be, why do I want to have fun? Having fun makes me happy. So why can't I just be happy without having fun or be happy without making money? I mean, one thing, there's a cost to everything. So you can ask, what's the cost of what you're doing? And the cost, I would say, is that I spend a lot of time by myself, um, though a lot of that time was building up a skill of programming. And that programming skill has helped me make the money I make today. So, but the cost might have been if I didn't know how to program. So this is one thing. Most programmers aren't rich. It's only if you create, and there's not that many. This is, I guess, a big, I guess if you work for Google early on, it's kind of a lot of luck involved in that. And I don't know, how happy are they? I guess it always comes down to happiness. How happy are you? How happy am I? I could be definitely much happier. Um, I think, though, in some ways I don't really risk much. And I guess because I'm afraid of the failure. So there's a whole, and I've done a lot of things, and I have to question why I haven't finished it or nobody uses it. There's a whole bunch of doggies here. It's like a dog show. Okay, so we're 5:52, so I got 9 minutes to get from the High Line to my stop. And yeah, I could do it. Might have to run a little bit. Yeah, so it's that search for happiness. And what is happiness anyway? So on one hand, I could look at what makes me happy. So um, doing this podcast, I guess I like. It would be nice to have a partner to in crime or in business to help work these things out. But I don't have that currently. Guy with a Vermont license plate, pretty funny, playing a little very loud music. So I got another shoelace out. Um, don't even have enough time to tie it. Okay, so we're down to 8 minutes. Walking up a hill now. Yeah, so that's basically what I had today. I'll see if I have anything else. Um, Probably going to walk the dog later, see how many steps I got so far. Oh, almost 15,000 already. Okay, I'm going to just pull over, tie this shoe, and then see if I can put a move on it. Oh, there's a lot of bird crap over here. Ooh. Yeah, so nice hour walks. I've walked about 2 hours today. It's going to be up 2 hours. I've done 2 podcasts. So I do like that idea. One of the things somebody said was, if somebody says you're crazy about an idea, then you just may be onto something. And my craziness is to be able to do a lot of stuff easily. Um, so there's a lot of construction here. I think I'm on 30th, approaching 9th Avenue. So I've got to get to 8th Avenue and 31st Street. So I'm a block and a half away. I have some time. Shouldn't be an issue. As I cross over. Yeah, a lot of construction here. Bunch of cars parked over here, it looks like. Yeah. Look like they were waiting at the light, but they're just parked. 8 seconds across. Let's see how we're doing. Ooh, got 5 minutes. That's not good. I got a block, so it's 2 blocks. Maybe it's not that bad. It's going to be close. So you'll probably hear it in my breath. And I'm going to do some slow running. Be very sweaty by the time I get to the train. And on that note, I will probably sign off from here. Okay, so I am running. You can see the Empire State Building. Looks like they're doing something here. And it says, looks like the Moynihan Train Hall at Penn Station. So it seems they might have closed the post office. And they're turning it into some sort of dramatically expanded access to trains, something. So it looks like they are building a new Penn Station. It's going to be called Moynihan Train Hall. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, Penn Station is pretty ugly. Could use a facelift. I wonder what they're paying for it. Okay, I'm right outside of, getting close, outside of Madison Square Garden. Still running, and it's 5:58. I can't cross yet, so I'm still okay. Okay, I think I got it. I'm going to make it. Anyway, everybody have a really great day. Do whatever you have to do to be happy, be successful, and love yourself, love everybody. Take care. Alberg signing off.